Benjamin Franklin had a rival in the Pennsylvania legislature, a man who, by Franklin's own account, did not cease to rail at me. Most people, faced with someone who hates them, try to win them over with a favor. Franklin did the opposite. He wrote to the man and asked to borrow a rare book from his library. The man sent it over the same day. Franklin returned it a week later with a short note of thanks. The next time they were in the same room, the man spoke to him, warmly, for the first time ever. They stayed political allies for the rest of Franklin's life. That should not work. If you want someone to like you, the obvious move is to do something for them. Flowers, a gift, a favor. Not ask them for one. Asking a rival for a favor should hand them power over you, not warmth toward you. But Franklin wrote about this so many times that psychologists eventually gave it his name, the Ben Franklin effect. Doing someone a favor makes them more likely to do you another. But stranger than that, doing you a favor makes them like you more. In 1969, two psychologists at the University of North Carolina, John Jecker and David Landy, decided to test whether Franklin had stumbled onto something real. They ran a fake contest where participants could win a small amount of cash. Afterward, 1/3 of the winners were approached personally by the lead researcher, who explained, awkwardly, apologetically, that he'd used his own money to fund the prizes and was running low. Could they return the cash as a personal favor? A second third were asked the same thing, but by a secretary, on the department's behalf, not the researchers. The final third wasn't asked for anything at all. Later, every participant filled out a survey rating how much they liked the researcher. The group asked to return money as a personal favor to him rated him significantly higher than both other groups, higher than the people who got to keep their winnings entirely. Being asked for a favor and granting it made total strangers report liking a man more than doing nothing to him at all did. The people asked on behalf of the department, not the man himself, showed almost none of the effect. It wasn't the money leaving their pocket. It was who they'd chosen to help. Here's what's actually happening. In 1957, a psychologist named Leon Festinger had already described the engine behind this: cognitive dissonance. Your brain does not tolerate holding two contradictory beliefs at once. And, I just helped this person, sitting next to, I don't particularly like this person, is exactly that kind of contradiction. We don't usually help people we're indifferent to. So when your actions and your feelings don't match, your brain doesn't go back and change the action. It's already done. It quietly edits the feeling instead. The easiest fix for, why did I just help someone I don't like, is to stop believing you don't like them. That's the whole trick. You're not persuading the other person with logic. You're handing their own brain a piece of evidence, I helped them, and letting it draw the only conclusion that resolves the tension on its own. No argument, no charm, just a small, real act their mind has to explain to itself. But, like the pratfall effect, like most of these, this only works inside guardrails. The favor has to be small enough to not feel like a burden. Ask a rival to lend you a book, not to co-sign your mortgage. Ask too much, and the dissonance runs the other way. Instead of, I must like them, the brain concludes, they're taking advantage of me. And you end up more disliked, not less. There's also the source problem from the 1969 study. The ask has to come from the actual person, not a proxy. Landy and Jecker's participants only warmed to the researcher when the favor was framed as personal. A favor for the department barely moved the needle. Dissonance only resolves onto a specific person you can actually picture. And it has to be voluntary. If someone feels cornered into helping you, there's no contradiction for their brain to resolve. Being pressured into a favor doesn't require you to like the person you helped, only to fear the consequences of refusing. The effect isn't about extracting favors. It's about giving someone a low-stakes, genuinely optional chance to be generous toward you, and then getting out of the way and letting their own mind do the rest. This shows up everywhere once you know to look for it. New hires are told to add value to build goodwill with senior colleagues, but the ones who instead ask a busy senior colleague for 5 minutes of advice often build a warmer relationship faster. Asking for guidance doesn't just get you an answer. It quietly recruits that person's brain into investing in your success because now they've already helped you once. Negotiators use a version of it. Asking the other side for a small, harmless concession early doesn't just win that point, it makes them more cooperative for the rest of the conversation. Even in friendships that have gone cold, reaching out to ask a small favor, not to apologize, not to explain, just to ask, sometimes rebuilds warmth faster than any grand gesture does. And this flips something most of us have backwards. We spend so much energy trying to look impressive, self-sufficient, like we need nothing from anyone, because we assume needing something makes us less likable. But Franklin's rival didn't warm up to him because Franklin proved he had nothing to offer. He warmed up because Franklin trusted him enough to ask. Asking for help isn't the confession of weakness we treat it as. It's often the fastest route to being seen as human, reachable, instead of distant. So, the next time you're trying to win someone over and your instinct is to give, prove your value, earn their approval, tip the scale until they owe you something, remember what a man with a grudge and a rare book figured out 300 years ago. Sometimes the fastest way into someone's good opinion isn't handing them a reason to like you. It's handing them a reason to have already helped you and letting their own mind decide quietly on its own that they must have wanted to.